My name is Destiny and I am the ninth grade. People aggravate me, so I always tend to go off. I don't know, I just have a bad attitude.
My name is Slater Alcantara and I am in ninth grade. I have a bad attitude because I don't get along well with people, anything they do. I think that if a person does something that's better than me, I accept it. But if they try to show it off, then I'm gonna try to do something that's better than what they do. Then that keeps going into an argument and then that leads to hatred. And then I end up wanting to kill them.
In school, there's always somebody that always gives attitude to you for no apparent reason. But for them, it's just like they're not giving attitude. But yeah, someone's always giving attitude to me in this school, and my attitude goes to another level. But I don't care who you are, my attitude goes to a different level. I don't have patience for people. I really don't, and I I can't stand when people act dumb for no reason.
When somebody talks back to me or yells at me or they want to ask me for help and I say no because I like working alone because I hate everybody.
My name is Miss Melissa Da Silva, and I am the school social worker at Trinity Academy for the Performing Arts. I'm a licensed independent social worker. I teach people how to communicate, I teach about feelings, I coordinate resources for students and families. I think that as human beings, we reflect the attitudes that we receive. We're almost like mirrors. So if I give somebody an attitude, they're going to mirror that same attitude back to me.
My name is Christopher Mendez, and I am the front desk clerk. I have to be very patient sometimes because the kids could be very upset because a lot of the times they may not agree with why they're being sent down. They may have their own reasons of what happened, and you hear, double-sided, two stories. You get to hear both stories. They can have some interesting attitudes when they come down.
I feel like the more people talk to me, the more they aggravate me. And if they try to prove me wrong, I'm gonna say something back and prove I'm right.
I can control my attitude by staying to myself, separating myself from everybody and just doing me, because if I'm worried about everybody else, then my attitude is gonna keep going on another level. I'm not gonna be Destiny no more. I'm gonna be that one with the baddest attitude in the school.
I would say what happens most in that type of situation is when I'm trying to speak with a student and their attitude or their reactions escalate to a point where they're breaking down, where they can't listen. All they're doing is reacting. And as nature has it, you want to react the same way. And so it's hard to try to focus on, being calm and receptive, because what you automatically want to do is give the same attitude back. And when you have the same forces come together, it doesn't work. So being able to stop yourself mentally and say, okay, this is not going to work if you reciprocate the same attitude. You have to take a breath and bring it down a level.
I'm pretty mellow, so I let things slide. I don't get upset. I understand that they're still kids. They may think they're adults already, but for the most part, they're all still just kids.
So if we see others using a positive attitude, we learn how to use a positive attitude, how to react with a positive attitude. If we see other people using negative attitudes, that's how we learn how to interact with other people. So the thing is that you need to learn how to communicate. A lot of times when we are speaking with other people and we don't know how to communicate properly, that's when attitudes can be taken wrong.
Sometimes when the kids play basketball, they can get a little rowdy. So then I'll have two kids coming in right from recess, both still arguing. I don't know what's going on because I'm in the office, and I kind of have to split them up fast and figure out, what caused them to be at each other's throats, just screaming back and forth.
You can't pick up inflections in people's voices during text messages or emails, and people will think that they're getting an attitude when they're really not. So that's why I think there's been a breakdown in generations of not being able to communicate properly, because we're not doing it face to face, that we're doing it over text messaging.
They get so frustrated that they're just trying to let out so that you understand what they're saying. And sometimes they'll get loud, and the honest truth is the best way to get yourself heard is actually just to speak clearly and really listen.
When two attitudes had got kind of in a conflict is when one person was having a bad day, said something not so nice to another person, they got offended, and because they were having some personal inner struggles, those two forces together ended up being into a physical altercation. And I guess at that point is that you never know really where to put yourself or what to do when there's a physical altercation. And that's why I tell students that when you fight, it doesn't just affect the two people that are fighting, it actually affects a whole bunch of other people. And that day, because it was such an aggressive situation, I ended up having to go to the hospital because those two attitudes just ended up flaring so much that they ended up getting into an altercation and ended up getting hurt. And another person was ended up in the hospital at that same time too.